Today we are going to remove the running boards from the Land Cruiser. There is no practical reason for me to have them on here. I don't actually step on them when I get in the truck, and I think it'll give it a little more of an aggressive look, which I could kind of go for because it's already a pretty tall vehicle. I don't really want to put a lift on it, but just removing the running boards makes it look like it's a little bit higher, and they won't be in the way. So we're going to go do that. It's relatively straightforward. There's just a couple bolts holding it on, so that's all we're gonna do is just pop them out and drop it down. All right, let's take a guess. That's a Toyota. Is it a 14? Maybe, but it could be a rusted 14. We're gonna see if I can actually break these loose. It is a 13. I don't get that every day. So if it's gonna be a 13, we're gonna want to convert that so I can use a larger wrench. Actually, this breaker bar is probably big enough. All right. Let's see how tough this is. Not at all. That broke loose pretty much instantly. I think one of the funnest parts about an old car is figuring out, funnest / frustrating, I'll correct that, that's figuring out some of the old things that have probably been done to this thing a long time ago that there aren't any records of and some owner did, and you're just kind of piecing together the car's history. This bolt is a little bit hard to get to, and this is a little bit bent, almost as if somebody forced a ratchet onto it a long time ago. I'm wondering, as easy as these bolts have been to remove, were they removed before? Alright, getting something onto that's going to be a little bit of a pain. Actually, I don't need to. It just will slide right off of it. That's really interesting. Okay, let's see if we can get this off. There's one thing holding that in that I forgot to take out earlier. Probably a 10. Yep. And there you go. All right, easiest thing to do to avoid losing hardware is put the hardware back on, even if you're not going to be using the running board. It's one less thing you got to find later. You're not going to use those bolts or nuts for anything else, and you'll always be able to come back and find exactly where they are if you need them to put the running board back on. So, just my advice. And I need to see if I can get some sort of mud flap to go here. Otherwise, that is going to chuck a lot of mud up the side of the car. Oh yeah, that already looks a ton better. For now, we'll put these right here. On the passenger side, there is no 10mm nut or screw, sorry, up here in the front for whatever reason, so you don't have to worry about that. And there we are. Definitely looks better, looks more aggressive, doesn't compromise the ride height of the vehicle or stability at speed or anything like that. As long as you're tall enough to get in and out of the vehicle comfortably, I think there are no downsides to doing this. Hopefully the tutorial made sense. See you for the next project. All right, today's project is trailer lighting. Now, Sully technically already has trailer lighting. Here's the previous trailer hookup, which the owner says quit working a while ago. And he went in and added this one. And I don't like how it looks because it's just hanging down. It's held on by a twist tie. And the most important reason why I don't like it is because only the right side blinker and brake light works. I've got running lights on the trailer all the way around, but only the right side brake light, and you'll see why in a minute. So I'm going to show you how to take off an old one and install a newer kit. This is from etrailers.com. I've got their wiring harness with adapter. I also have a new mounting plate to add right here so it's not just dangling. I do not have any sort of paid relationship with etrailers.com. They didn't send this to me for free or anything, but I am linking it in the description because the price is very, very reasonable, and there are probably plenty of other people in my situation who need to add something like this. So first step is we're going to want to get the spare tire down. I'm assuming if you have a Land Cruiser, you know how to do that, so I'm not going to narrate that, but you'll probably be able to figure out what I'm doing. All right, so now that we're under here, let's talk through what we got. Here is the cable. You can see where it's grounded. It comes up, you just wrap the excess around, and then it goes over here where it plugs into the trailer harness dongle coming from the truck itself. So we're going to pull all of that out, and then we're going to put the new one in. Seems like a good place to ground it. All right, so the basic components of this harness are the plug, ground, and the wiring. And this really tough rubber band. All right, now that you got the harness, I recommend putting some dielectric grease in here and then hooking it up. It's a very, very tight connection. Now, you gotta find somewhere to run this. You gotta find somewhere to mount this box, and then you of course gotta get the wire over here, which isn't gonna be that hard, but you wanna tuck it up out of the way. All right, so you either wanna stick the box to the underside of the car, or you need to like zip tie it up to something. I'm not gonna stick it because this sticky pad's not that strong, and I tried it on a couple different places up here, and it's just, this isn't sticky enough. So you could also drill it into the bottom of the body, which I might do like with a self-tapper. But I'm gonna wait to make sure I'm happy with the harness before I do something like that, because it's really easy just to like zip tie it up to this harness and then come back and swap that out later if I need to. All right, so what I think I'm gonna do is I'm going to secure the box about right here. The ground I'm gonna connect right where the old one was, and then of course this is really easy to make fit right here. Of course I've got to work around where the spare tire is going to be, so I'll run this stuff underneath other things, but I'll just show you a little montage of me getting hooked up. right, now the flat mounting bracket does not come with the harness, but I added it on because it was only a few dollars more. It comes with self-tappers to get the holes in the first place, and then these nuts. Although I guess if you're using self-tappers, you could just, let me see, how loose are those? You could just put it in with the self-tappers, but ideally you put it in like this, and then if you need to put a nut on the other side, you can. So I'm going to put it in one of the holes from the original bracket. All right, I had a lot of problems with this last step. Kept snapping stuff off. It could be something I'm doing wrong. It could just be that this bar is too hard for the self-tappers and everything that came with this kit. So I'm not necessarily knocking the kit, but another thing you can do is run zip ties through to hold it in place with a sticky pad. That's what I did. And I zip tied it around here. Obviously black zip ties would be better. If this all works and holds well, I'm gonna go get some and clean this whole thing up. But as you can see, all the wires are tucked in and ran. This needs to push out just a little bit more. There you go. And now I'm gonna put the spare tire back up and hook it up to the trailer, see what happens. All right, lights on, left, right blinker, brake lights, all works.